going to split up. You know, as long as people want to see it, we'll do it, do you know what I mean? I can never leave Oasis, I am Oasis, you know what I mean? I don't think Oasis will ever leave me, so.
At some point in your life, you must have heard,
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
you've heard the song, you know the name, but you might not know the full story.
I'm Noel.
My name's Liam.
I'm
I'm the singer and he's a guitarist, songwriter.
a guitar songwriter.
Is he always right?
Nope.
In less than 2 years, Oasis went from playing pubs to selling out stadiums.
When is he wrong?
When I'm right.
They brought Britain back to life, louder, prouder, and unapologetically working class.
Do you really argue as much as it's made out?
I'm in a good run at the moment. I argue for about a day.
But just as fast as they rose, they crashed.
Oasis have split, and according to Noel Gallagher, this time it's for good. Noel announced he's quitting the band because he can't work a day longer with his brother Liam.
Do you guys talk to each other now?
No,
No.
there's too much been said.
We were a proper band, and I think the world I think we need a good band like that, you know, and we did exactly what you said on the tin.
Yeah.
I don't need no other band. All I need is the Beatles and him.
I'll be in one band and one band only, and that's this band.
You must have some idea why you split up.
It hasn't split up in my mind, you know what I mean, when I think about it.
Is an Oasis reunion? Are you okay with that? Do you want that?
Yeah, why
Right?
not? Yeah.
I know.
Cigarettes and alcohol, seminal moment in rock history.
Oasis shouldn't have ever split up, and I'm still like distraught about that.
Is it beyond repair?
Decades later, their music never left, and neither did the hope that one day they'd come back.
Oasis getting back together.
So how did Oasis take over the world, lose it all, and how did they make the most iconic return in history?
Is it a victory?
Yeah.
It is.
The
Good.
best band on the planet. It's a fact.
The story starts in Manchester.
I was born in '67, grew up in the early '70s in Longsight in Manchester. Irish working class, bit of an ethnic melting pot. Normal working class upbringing, really. They knocked our houses down to build a supermarket called Asda. We were moved to a place called Burnage, which was in the south of Manchester. You know, I don't really look back on my childhood as anything earth-shatteringly different than anyone else I grew up with. You know, but I suppose it has in some way shaped me musically.
In the early 1990s, Britain was in the midst of a cultural shift. Years of political tension, economic uncertainty, and the fading optimism of the 1980s. The British working class were frustrated but hungry for something new, something real. Grunge music had made its mark in America, but many British youths couldn't relate to its bleak, apathetic tone. They were looking for something closer to home, something raw, defiant, and full of swagger. But who was going to be next?
What's the story, Morning Glory, Oasis?
Oasis were the next big thing since the Beatles, the Stone Roses, and Led Zeppelin.
I'd say about 6 or 7 when seen all reruns of Beatles programmes, I think. Watching them shaking their heads singing Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. That's the first memory I've got of music.
Noel was playing guitar since he was 11. I was doing nothing, telling him to shut up playing it, because I had my own work to do.
Took guitar lessons at school, but they kicked me out because I was left-handed, but I play guitar right-handed, and they was insisting that I play it left-handed, but I couldn't get my head around it.
He walked past me with a guitar in the case, I'd hurl abuse at him and go, weirdo. I go, weirdo, weirdo. I mean, I'd have a football in me, because in football I was just a young lad, I didn't understand music. And as I got grown up, I started understanding his music a little bit. And that was it.
The story begins, I'm in Munich with the Spiral Carpets, and I do my weekly phone call home to my mum. It's on a Sunday, right? Oh, where are you? Oh, I'm in Munich. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, how's Liam? He's in some band. What? In a band?
They were called Rain, but that was before our Liam joined. Our Liam joined and renamed them Oasis.
He's in some band. Who with? Oh, with Bonehead. Bonehead? What, is it a comedy? What? Oh, I don't know, he's in some band. I was like, oh, fucking hell. I didn't think anything of it. And so that tour finished and came home.
And then we needed songs. Our kid had songs, but he was working all the time.
And when he come back and he found out his younger brother had joined the band doing a bit of singing, I weren't no good.
I was still living at home, obviously, sharing a bedroom with Liam, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in a fucking band." You know, they were doing a gig which was coming up. We went to see them. And they were pretty good. You know, they had this one great song called "Take Me," right, which was great. And you know, he's my little brother and all that. And it's like, fucking oh wow.
And he just thought, right, yeah, I can make him a bit better because I've got proper songs.
Liam saying, "Come and have a jam with us down at." They were practicing in a place called the Red House. "Come and have a jam with us." And I was like, I can't be arsed. And he was like, "Come and have a jam with us, you lazy bastard." I remember after the second time I went down, Liam saying, "Yeah, you must have loads of songs. Play one." And I was like, all right, well, you do this, you play that, you know, show them what to play, and everybody joined in. And it was at that moment, a song that I'd written come to life. I was like, fucking a massive awakening, and it was instant. And I was like, oh my God, this sounds fucking great. And then it was like, okay, right, well, I've got this other one. And then it just went from there, you know, and they were fucking like mad Sunday afternoons where it was the start.
They forced themselves into the spotlight and rewrote the rules of what it meant to be a British rock band.
Said in the paper sometimes, like, you hijacked a gig with 18
We didn't hijack it. We got told by these girls who were in the band, said, "Oh, come up, and you can have a gig," when we didn't have no gigs. And we went, right. So we get up there, and the guy goes, "So, who are you?" And we're like, "Oasis." And he goes, "Never heard of you." I'm like, clever boy. You know what I mean? We've only been about 10 minutes. So then he goes, "Right, we can't play." And we're like, "We've been sold, we can play." We've travelled all the way up here, 200 miles. We had a big van out, charged all our mates loads of money and had to come out and have a day, you know what I mean? Just get the van out. We get there and he goes, "No." So we just informed him. And there was like 20 of us. And there was only 2 of him. Yeah. And it's like...
So he said, "Well, if you don't let us play, the odds are stacked amazingly in our favour. So if you don't let us play, there's going to be a bit of trouble." So he let us play for 20 minutes. We did 4 songs. We came off stage. Unbeknown to us, Alan McGee was just stood there with his hand out and he went, "All right, man, have you guys got a record deal?" So we said, "No." He says, "Do you want one?" So we said, "Who have you made? Creation?" So we said, "I suppose so."
This wasn't just luck. They didn't stumble into fame. They arrived at exactly the right moment.
Give it up for Oasis, making their TV debut with Supersonic.
It was Top of the Pops, which shaped everybody's attitude of my age group anyway. It was kind of mid-70s, and then punk would come along after that and change everything. And then it kind of came to prominence in the mainstream around about 77, 78, and it was over by 79. Grunge thing had come to its natural end, and the scene was set for something.
You know what happened to be us? Because the people don't know what they want until you give it to them.
What did you give to them?
Songs, melodies, attitude.
It's a rock and roll story. That's it. And that's the truth, because it's happening. I mean, and I want it as much as everyone else wants it.
It wasn't just attitude, it wasn't just timing. The band had real talent, and they worked like they had something to prove.
It doesn't matter how much talent you've got, you have to have a little bit of talent, but if you've got more passion than anything, you will get there.
It was just fate. Fate is easy. Life is life. Life's very easy. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard in some stages and that, when you go through a bit of shit, it's very hard and that, but life in general is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
In our circumstance anyway, it just happened dead easy. We've not even done anything for it. All we've done was got our heads down in the rehearsal room, asked ourselves, do we want to be the biggest band in the world or do we want to go for it? And we all went, yeah.
Did you sort of really work hard and rehearse? And
Yeah, 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
And if you didn't turn up, we got sacked for a month. So it's all about discipline. And he brought the discipline in, and now we're here today. We're hungry for it, got it inside.
If you start a band, you don't want to be the Beatles. There's no point starting a band.
You know, like, people think it's cool to go, oh, well, you're going dead big now, you're getting dead mainstream and that, and you'll be playing stadiums in a bit. So fucking what?
Of course we'll be playing stadiums.
What it's about. So I don't want to play no dingy little sweaty club anymore, you know what I mean? I want to do it for the time being until it's time to go into the stadiums and that, and then go for it. That's what it's about. I want to be mobbed me everywhere I go. I want to be chased by loads of birds and that down the street going, Leon! I'm like, piss off. I want it all.
Noel Gallagher's songwriting was relentless and brutally honest. He knew what he wanted Oasis to sound like before a single song was released. Liam had the voice. A voice that cut through the noise, snarling, melodic and unmistakably northern. Unquestionably one of the best singers of his time. It was pure attitude, a voice that didn't just sing the lyrics, they lived them.
Not about us, it's about the songs.
Songs give you confidence.
If you write a song like Live Forever and a song like Supersonic, then you can't feel anything other than untouchable, and we are untouchable. We're the greatest band in England.
My world's about good songs, you know what I mean? And a good attitude and that, and we've got it. He writes his songs, it's different. Because I don't write anything, so I'm a fan of him. Do you know what I mean? Of his music, and that's something that's good, you know what I mean? As well as being in it, I don't need no other band. All I need is the Beatles and him.
Even in the early days, Oasis had a plan.
How long do you think you can realistically write the momentum you've created for yourself?
As long as you want it.
3 years.
No, longer. As long as you want it.
3 years.
No, as long as you want it. If you're you and you're being yourself, right, and you always continue to be yourself, yeah, then you can last forever, right? But if you get sucked in by it all, right, and then end up being something else, and then you know it's not you, then you're going to find out you're faking it. You know what I mean? So therefore, you're going to want to do something else. I could be in it for years, me. Not that long. I'd say until we get all the albums done. If we don't die tomorrow, or whatever, you know what I mean? But I won't get bored of it because I'm going about it the right way by being myself.
So why do you say 3 years?
Because he's a soft lad and he'll get sucked in by all.
I don't believe Oasis will last until we're 40-year-old men.
No.
I think that this band will only be interesting as long as we write interesting songs, and I believe that we'll go out at the top.
So what made Oasis different from the rest? It wasn't just the music, it was culture.
Right down the scale from the rich man right to the poorest man can understand our songs. Everybody understands what cigarettes and alcohol is about. Everybody understands what Live Forever is about. It's not music for like the elite, and it's not music for people to like sit in a closet and listen to it and go, oh, this is my band and nobody else is allowed to like it. We're the most universal band that come out of England. Yes, we don't sing about London, we don't sing about Manchester, we don't sing about Sheffield. We don't sing about England. We don't sing about England, we don't sing about anywhere, we just sing about life.
They spoke directly to the working class, to the kids who had nothing but dreams and cheap guitars.
And the winner is, for the best video, Oasis, Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, no fucking idea. I have no idea why every conceivable fucking race of person on this planet gets Wonderwall. I guess it's because those first 2 records, you're not trying to second guess yourself, you're just writing from the heart. You know, it's instinct.
It was about being relatable, connection, and hope in a time needed more than ever.
What did people expect from the first Oasis album?
12 songs that are just honest, rock and roll songs.
About everyday things and about nothing.
About being alive and having a good time. About being happy, about enjoying yourself.
And then about being sad. You know, really. But knowing that you can get better. About everything, just life.
It's just about observing what's going on around you and writing about it and just saying all you need is cigarettes and alcohol. It's not glorifying. It's not saying go on. It's not glorifying drinking or smoking. It's a feeling that you get when you're on the dole and you've got no money, maybe to escape from your surroundings, that maybe all you have is cigarettes and alcohol, and that's all that matters.
Even when their lyrics didn't make total sense, they felt right. And in a time when Britain was looking for meaning, sometimes that was enough.
Do you know what Champagne Supernova means?
No idea. You know, slowly walking down the hall faster than a cannonball. What is this song about? And then I happened to glance up and there's a guy in here, and he had his shirt in one hand and his fist clenched, and he was crying his eyes out. And I was like, that's what it means.
Oasis were just one piece of a much bigger explosion. Britpop had arrived, and so had its fierce rivalry. Blur versus Oasis, London versus Manchester, Southern Art School versus Northern Attitude. Both bands released albums the same week. The press turned it into a war, and Oasis embraced it. Suddenly, they were everywhere, on the radio, in every tabloid, headlining Glastonbury. But Oasis weren't just music. They were a movement.
We've never really pulled it off at Glastonbury, I don't think. I think the first year we played, when we were on that second stage at 2 in the afternoon, was the best. We always blow the big gigs. We always somehow managed to George Best it.
And I think that the first time we headlined it, we played too many songs off Morning Glory which hadn't been released then. I mean, looking back, when you look at the set list, it's colossal, but nobody had heard Champagne Supernova and Don't Look Back in Anger and all the songs that we played.
The rise was incredible, but would their songs last longer than a few years?
There'll still be a place for Oasis in the future, because you've got your new wave kind of bands coming, like the Hives and the Strokes and the White Stripes.
We're Oasis, we just do what we do, what we've always done, and the place will come to us. And I don't want to be in the scene, I never wanted to be in the scene, and I'm not about being in the scene. We never want to be Britpop, we're just Oasis in a band. And
we were new wave before we were Britpop, weren't we?
And we're just going to continue to do what we do. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It doesn't really matter. I'm 30 next year, you know what I mean? And I still have it with anyone.
It's 30 this year.
They built their legend one gig at a time. It didn't stop until the world had no choice but to listen.
Well, the difference between writing those first two albums is I didn't realise I was writing the first one, because you're just writing tunes to play at local band nights. So your little half an hour set or whatever it is. We did quite a few, maybe a dozen. We were playing every week, to like 10 people. And every week, the shittest song in that set would get bumped for another one. Like even then, just writing and writing and writing. We went to Rockfield straight off a tour, and I had the songs. I was just going to. All the songs had one verse and one chorus, and I was just going to write the second verses when I got there. But things got a little bit out of hand when I got there, so that's why most of the songs have got one verse and one chorus.
In the span of just 5 years, Oasis released two of the most iconic British albums of all time, Definitely Maybe and What's the Story Morning Glory. They had found their sound, loud, melodic, unapologetic, but behind the scenes, something was brewing.
I mean, what's it like to be brothers and being in the same band?
Got good days and bad days, same as...
There's always something it's like. You seem to be you get a lot of press for being a Manchester band, also a lot of praise for fighting all the time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that the press are playing up on, but we've got to be smart about it. That's all they can write. They can just read. And that's what annoys me about the press in England. They're just stupid. They don't listen to our songs. You pick up a little weak link. Our weak link is me and him arguing in front of people and fighting. And that's all they can get off on. And if people want to buy that, that's cool.
Everybody knew what everybody had to do to make the band go on. It wasn't like searching for answers or anything like that. It's like Liam had to stop being a twat, Bonehead had to stop drinking, I had to stop being a bit of an egomaniac, which I've not quite got around to yet.
Is Oasis democratic, or do you have the final say, or...?
Well, these lot would say, I don't,
Truthfully now.
Truthfully, they drop it all on me.
Right.
I've got to make all the tough decisions. It's my music. Well, I write the songs, it's our music, but I write the music and the words. I write music for the band, but it's me that writes it, so it's me that I make the decisions, or musically make the decisions, so yeah, I'm very much the dictator.
The press turned their arguments into headlines and their fights into legend. Liam's relationship with the media became hostile. They called him violent and a hooligan, and that only made him lash out more.
What do you think of rock and roll today?
I think it's shit. But I think we're great. You know what I mean? There is no rock and roll today, is there? There's only us.
Liam came to blows it was a few years ago, and I approached him outside the Q Awards with a photograph, and it was a photograph of him kissing a young lady in a pub, and I merely said, what's going on here? And he didn't like the question too much, so he punched me in the face.
Really into the idea of rock and roll.
I thought you were a geezer. I thought you were a geezer.
I just think he lives his life exactly the way he wants to. I don't think he's bothered by what we write about him. He just does what he wants to do.
Always being portrayed as young hooligans. Do you think that image is fair? And if so, how long do you think you can keep it up before it somehow backfires on you?
It's just my question. This is your question. No, I ain't a hooligan. I'm not a hooligan. Right. They write that we're a hooligan, that I'm a hooligan, or these are hooligans. I'm like, we're not hooligans. We had a drunken brawl on the boat because we drunk too much. You know what I mean? But everyone drinks too much now and again and ends up falling over on the road there and bumping into someone and they don't like it. And then you end up having an argument and then you end up having a fight. And then you go home to bed and that's it. I'm not going to take no shit off anyone. You know what I mean? Off that person in the crowd, you know what I mean? Who's mad for giving me, for throwing a bottle at my head, you know what I mean? I'm not going to take that. Or someone who's spitting at me, I'm not going to take it.
But despite the chaos, the music kept coming. The success kept growing.
It all happened incredibly quickly.
It's insane. That trajectory from nothing to we were the biggest band in the world. It was brief, but we were there. You know, it was kind of like breathtaking, really. It was fucking hard work. I remember being in the biggest band in the world, right? Between 95 and 97, and thinking, when is this going to fucking end? This is just, it's hard work, you know what I mean? So no, I was writing all the fucking songs, doing all the fucking interviews, coming up with all the ideas for the videos, doing the gigs, and it's just like, I need a holiday and a hug. That year and a half when it went from theatres like the Apollo and the Town and Country Club, we did one arena in Sheffield and then we went straight to stadiums, fucking football stadiums.
Then came the moment that cemented their legacy.
Final preparations are being made for the arrival of 250,000 rock fans at Knebworth in Hertfordshire for one of the biggest ever open-air concerts in Britain. 2 million people tried to get tickets, many to see the band of the moment, Oasis.
There have been rock concerts at Knebworth before, but never, it is claimed, quite on this scale. The Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Genesis and Queen all played here in the 70s and 80s, but never 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. Our gig's brilliant. In Knebworth, brilliant.
Different to anyone else that's around.
Just quality, really.
Brilliant front man. The music's so simple, it's just really easy to listen to and stuff.
It's the culture as much as anything, isn't it, really?
What do you regard as being the culture?
Lager, cigarettes.
Alcohol.
Best singer, best songwriter, best band.
How old are you?
14.
All of you are 14?
Yeah.
Is this all your first concert?
Yeah.
And you chose Oasis?
Yeah.
Gigs like this, like life itself, is there to be lived and enjoyed, and if you can't enjoy them, then, you know, you might as well just aim for the Astoria and leave it at that. These are what it's all about. This is what it's all about. These are the gigs that go down in people's memories, and this is where people will meet future wives and all that kind of gear. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they were really, really, really great gigs. That's it. That's what Oasis was at that time. You know, it's where I'd seen Pink Floyd in '88, and I'd seen Guns N' Roses and the Rolling Stones, and then I was playing there. We were playing there. Do you know what I mean?
Once they hit the top, it became harder to stay true to what got them there. Noel admitted he struggled to write songs that felt as real as the early days.
It gets more difficult as you go along being a songwriter, and it should get easier, right? But it doesn't. It gets difficult.
Think you'll ever write one as good as Definitely Maybe Again?
If anyone's going to do it, he'll do it, but I'm 35 now. You can't write songs like Rock and Roll Style Live Forever when you're my age. You know, because it'd just be fake. I'd be faking it, you know what I mean? When I was writing Live Forever and Supersonic and that, I was 21. It was about life on the dole, and if I start writing songs like that, people would just see through it immediately.
Do you have to be feeling something at the time to write?
I've got to be honest. I can't write songs about being young and unemployed and being 21 because I'm not, you know.
Why don't you write songs about me being 29 and very good looking?
You know, it was a blessing in a way. I wrote one of the biggest albums of all time, and we're still a real little indie band. After that, when the spotlight of the world is on you, as a songwriter, I struggled with that. For years, I was like, I didn't know what I should be doing, and didn't know how to do it.
The sound evolved, and the arguments kept getting worse.
Liam went off stage angry. All of the Dutch press were there, and well, they all predicted a sudden split of Oasis.
No split, I just lost my voice. It didn't sound as good as I wanted it to sound, so I got off because I like my voice sounding alright.
No, we don't connect. You know, it's difficult to explain. It's not a big deal for me and Liam. It's a big deal for everybody else, I think. But it's all right. We get on. We've been in a band together now for what, 15 years. We're not split up yet. We've done, I don't know, 10 world tours. So it's not a big deal.
That's what it's all about. That's why we'll be the best band in the world, because I fucking hate that swat. No, it's not hate, it's love. It's too hate. Not hate. I don't hate him. I love him. He doesn't hate me, I know he doesn't. He loves me. What you're saying is complete and utter fucking blasphemy.
Years of touring, pressure, ego, and exhaustion. It all comes to its head in Paris, 2009.
Liam and Noel Gallagher just had a huge, big fight together in the dressing room. The band is not going to play tonight and cancel the rest of the Euro tour.
Noel Gallagher has announced that he's leaving Oasis because he can't work a day longer with his brother Liam.
Backstage, one final fight, one smashed guitar, and one decision. Noel left the band. And just like that, Oasis was over. No press release, no final show, just silence. The brothers really didn't talk about it.
The world's been itching to know exactly what happened.
The night in Paris, he came back with a guitar and started wielding it like an axe, and I'm not fucking kidding. It's a real unnecessary, violent act, and he's swinging this guitar around, and he kind of, you know, he nearly took my face off with it, you know. And it ended up on the floor, you know, I put it out of its misery, you know.
Me and our kid get to the gig, I've given him a couple of own truths about a few people that have been knocking around the band, stirring shit, so I told him a couple of things, and he better tell these people to stop fucking mouthing off about my band and all that, and he didn't like it. So he got his ball and he ran home and split the band up. But the reason why Noel left the band is nothing to do with an argument. You'd have to ask him when he comes in if he ever comes out of his house again. But I think Noel didn't want to be in Oasis. I think he'd had enough, you know what I mean? But he didn't have the balls to tell the fans or his band, and he just dramatised another silly argument that we had. He's made out as if it's the worst argument ever. I've had bigger arguments with my toenails, you know what I mean? So I just think it was an excuse for him to up sticks, you know what I mean? I don't think he wanted to be in Oasis anymore.
We're northern men, do you know what I mean? And we enjoy ourselves in silence and suffer in silence, you know.
Both moved on. Noel formed High Flying Birds. Liam tried BDI, then found success as a solo act. They each found their own paths, and plenty of fans followed. But the question always lingered: would Oasis ever return?
You must have some idea what he's about.
Was it all on him? Maybe I might have been a bit too rock and roll for him and that, and I might have cancelled a few gigs and that, and I might have stayed up later than I should have some nights, but, you know, we're not Club 7, that's what you do. I mean, we'd had worse arguments about lesser things and that, and, you know, I think we were a proper band, and I think we need a good band like that, you know, and we did exactly what he said on the tin.
Yeah. Do you guys talk to each other now?
No.
No.
There's too much been said.
Is it beyond repair?
For me, it is, yeah. Now it got personal, and he kind of brought my wife and kids into it very publicly.
And before, mate, he's about that big when I'm in the ring, you know what I mean? And that's why he split Oasis up, you know what I mean? Because he couldn't handle, like, you know what I mean? When I was away doing nothing 4 years, he was running a fucking mock, getting away with murder, and now I'm back. And I'm not saying I'm better than him, because I'm not. He's a great songwriter. But as a fucking rock and roll star, I wipe the fucking floor with him. He's very, very boring when I'm around, you know what I mean? He can't even get fucking looking. And he'll come back with a nice song. Be very boring, though. Oasis shouldn't have ever split up, and I'm still, like, distraught about that. And so, I mean, I don't know, I don't like the idea of being solo, you know what I mean? I mean, even though I've got a band with me and all that, still I'd much prefer to be singing the Oasis songs with our kid and that, but obviously that's not happening, so got to do something, you know what I mean? You can't sit at home twiddling your thumbs and that. I'm still fighting the cause, you know what I mean, for it, you know what I mean? Whether it's under my name or what, or I still do Oasis songs and that because I sang them and I feel like they're a big part of me, you know what I mean? Just because, you know, and there's a lot of other people going, oh, I can't believe, you know, you're still doing Noel songs. They're not Noel songs. They were written for the band called Oasis.
I've always said that, you know, things are best left in the past, but if he is... The thing with Liam is, you read these things every day, he's saying on his thing, it's happening. So he gets people's hopes up, right, all over the world. And then I get asked about it, and I have to look like saying, well, it's news, and I have to look like I'm, you know, dropping a big foot on it. Call me, right? Let's see what you've got to say.
It's just going through a bit of a weird patch in that moment, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, he says shit, I say shit, and it all gets a bit out of hand and that, but we just need to grow up, I guess. But the ball's in his court, man.
He doesn't want to do it, but he just likes saying that he does want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got his own thing going on. He's selling out Knebworth and all that kind of thing. What does he want to share it with me for? I'm cool with what I'm doing. He's smashing it. You know, why be disingenuous with people? You know it's not happening. And if you've got a plan,
give me a ring.
So you're open to it if you get
I'm
some
open
touch
to a phone.
and let's
I'm
have
open
a
to a
chat.
phone call for a conversation.
Yeah.
Other than that, stop playing with the kids. It's not fair on the fans. It's not fair.
Millions were offered, but money wasn't the glue. It was the songs, the melody, the attitude. Both brothers knew Oasis wouldn't have existed without each other.
Could you have been successful without each other?
No chance.
No chance.
No way. I wouldn't have got anywhere without him, and he wouldn't have got anywhere without me.
Right.
As simple as that.
How would you describe your chemistry with Liam?
I think that was the strength of the band, was my songs and his thing, whatever that thing is. So 99.9% of the population see him as one thing. I see him as another.
Yeah.
Because I'm his brother, you know what I mean?
What do you see him as?
What do I see him as? Pain in the arse.
I don't know what I've done really, to be fair, but, you know, we'll get to the bottom of it one day.
For years, reunion rumours swirled. Each time, fans hoped. Each time, nothing. Until now.
Hot off the press. This is it. This is the confirmation so many people have been waiting for. That
Liam and Noel Gallagher revealed Oasis are reuniting 15 years after they split.
The shock was immediate. Social media exploded. Ticket sites crashed. The UK stood still. We may never know why it happened. Money, nostalgia, or the love for music.
Noel definitely doesn't need the money now, okay? Because firstly, he's got a lot already. Secondly, at some point very, very soon, he'll be able to do the deal that Dylan has done and that everyone has done, where he sells the publishing rights, and he'll be able to sell them for $250 million. I mean,
I think it's 2025 that they're able to, aren't they? Isn't it somewhere like that?
It's really
that
soon, yeah.
Oasis will never be forgotten, not just because of what they did, but because of how they made people feel. And now a whole new generation gets to feel it too.
Writes a song, so it's different. Because I don't write anything, so I'm a fan of him. Do you know what I mean? Of his music. And that's something that's good, you know what I mean? As well as being in it, I don't need no other band. All I need is the Beatles and him.
It's the delivery or the tone of his voice and the attitude. I don't have the same attitude as him.
I know Noel thinks I'm brilliant. We didn't need to pat each other on the back and go, oh, you're great. Me and him are like telepathic, you know what I mean?
You ever do solo stuff?
I don't know. I'd prefer him. I'd prefer to be involved with him anyway, and the rest of them.
See, he loves you, really.
No, he does. No, but I often.
You know why, don't you?
I often
Why?
think
Because I fucking make his records good.
that would be our records.
Oasis, if it's done, you know what I mean? The most important thing is about me and him being brothers.
It's a period where he was the greatest singer in the world.
Best songwriter in the fucking world. I fucking, and I swear to God, he annoys me and I hate him.
I'm in a band, man. Its name is Oasis. Now, once the band is finished, I won't be going solo. It's as simple as that. Because, you know, I'll be in one band and one band only. And that's this band.
We're never going to split up. You know, as long as people want to see it, we'll do it. Do you know what I mean? I can never leave Oasis. I am Oasis. You know what I mean? I don't think Oasis will ever leave me. So.